again, bad news for Disney. This is more bad news for Disney. And it's like I like Katie Sackhoff, but she shares her thoughts on the Darksaber's destruction in the season 3 finale, and thus by revealing she has no idea what she's talking about, I guess, which is stupid. This is one of the dumbest things. I know you've got stuff to say on this, Nick, but this is one of the dumbest things that they did in The Mandalorian on a whole. It was just absolutely just ridiculous. Like you
when it happened, everybody's like, "What?"
And it was so like throwaway as well. Just done.
Yeah.
Gone. What?
It's literally like Luke in The Last Jedi just throwing the lightsaber over his shoulder. Like, you build up this moment like, oh, that's his father's lightsaber. That he lost when he got his hand chopped off. And then you get to it and it's just like, yeah. Same thing with the Darksaber in this. So dumb.
Yeah. So she says this. I think that Bo and the Mandalorian people have been fixated on, for lack of a better word, a trinket. She's lost sight of what really matters to her people and for her people. Initial thoughts, Nick?
Okay. I just it just doesn't make any sense.
I guess better. I think she's distracted by it because I think the Mandalorian people were distracted by it. So I think that, sadly, the destruction of it will potentially put things right, if you will.
Put things right. How?
I mean, they're not all suddenly going to take their helmets off and be like, "Oh, we're one people now, are they?"
Yeah,
that's more of a distraction than anything else, isn't it?
Yeah, again, the whole thing surrounding the Darksaber was for generations and generations and generations was surrounded around this Darksaber. It wasn't just her or just the little small group of people that were around her. It was everybody on Mandalore, followed that. So it's like,
Tom's having like a seizure there.
No, this is dumber than almost as dumb as destroying the Infinity Stones.
Yeah,
and then trying to say they're no more important than paperweights. Like this to me, and again, I could be way off, but this reeks to me of Kathleen Kennedy dealing with this whole situation of, I think Favreau's out the door, and a lot of shit that was in this initial plan is like, get it done or it's not going to get covered again.
Yeah. Well,
so
again,
I think that they decided to end this Darksaber story now. So it's no longer anything they have to deal with. It just seems so stupid.
Yeah.
Well, they build it up so much.
Well, apparently, yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? They did build it up, and then according to Katie Sackhoff, it was always the plan. It was in the script, so we knew it was happening. And I think I was a little like, I'm sorry, you're doing what? But it's one of those things where I think in order for Bo and the Mandalorians to have a fresh start, the right leader has to be leading no matter what they possess. So why did you include it in the first place? Why did you also have those weird tangential moments where, there was the mythosaur as well? Because that's an element of, like, what? None of this makes any sense.
I mean, if it's really about a transfer of power, then what the fuck do you need excuse my French, but what the hell do you need the stupid blade for in the first place then? You could it's just a Fugazi at that point. There you go. Now you can drink. I said Fugazi. It doesn't make any sense. It just might as well just be a title, right? Yeah. Like, the whole point of the Darksaber was it was a saber that was stronger than any lightsaber, right, Nick? If I remember right.
Well, it was.
Or it could cut through the metal, right?
It could cut through Beskar. It was designed for that, and then it was created by the only Mandalorian Jedi that there was, at the time. So it could also, go up against other Jedi and lightsabers.
Oh, now I want to see that story instead.
Yeah.
Mandalorian Jedi, take my money.
Yeah, and you would think that they would have maybe started to introduce or bring something like that along as they progress in the story, because that's a cool concept and a cool idea, seeing a Mandalorian Jedi, basically a Jedi Boba Fett, or something. But again, they don't know what they're doing.
That goes back to my point earlier about the Batman series, right? It's like there's an obviousness to what the fans want. And for some reason, it's like they do everything but give the fans what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And sprinkle in just little things here and there, like we're supposed to go, oh my God, it's Luke.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Doesn't make any sense. They don't know what they're doing. As usual.
I don't get it. Where's the incentive in not giving the audience what they want? And I'm not saying everything has to be fan service either. Don't get me wrong. But seriously, it's like we have restaurants that sell specific types of food for a reason. They cater to a customer, right? I go to see a superhero movie because I want to see a guy in tights kick the shit out of a guy who looks like a clown.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like it's not that complicated to get, butts and seats.
I want to see him, the clown guy, come up with a clever plot that pisses the guy in tights off, right? Like that's all it needs.
And the thing is that we have cases where they've listened to the fans and stuff and turned things around, like with the original Sonic movie, and then that movie did really well. People are like, "Oh, this looks like shit."
Picard.
I'm not going to go see it. Yeah, Picard season 3.
The multiple Star Trek shows. So
yeah. So and when they do that, they see success. So why do that not more people say, "Hey, look, this actually works. Maybe we should go out there and listen to what people are saying." And then try to build our story around that, or add stuff in there, or take stuff out, and change it to where they'll be happy, and then they'll tell other people about it, and then those people come watch the content.
They had that moment in Star Wars, to bring it back to Star Wars, Nick, and I'm sure this is where Andre can pipe in, because this is a point that he's made several times over. Regardless of how you felt about The Mandalorian, or the moment when Luke Skywalker came back into the picture, what that did for the franchise at that moment was bring back a good portion of the goodwill that had been lost over the past few years.
So many people.
And they pissed it away.
Yeah.
In
Andre,
weeks.
take over.
In weeks. Yeah, no, because it's exactly as you said, Tom, that created so much goodwill and excitement. Remember, that's the moment when The Mandalorian became huge. It was fine before, but it was with the return of Luke Skywalker that it became huge. And that lasted all the way up until, to do another 2000 AD reference, the double whammy of first Pablo Hidalgo laughing at Star Wars Theory for being emotional in his reaction. This was days after.
Yeah.
So that was like the first bad bill right there. And then the fighting of Gina Carano, which was, as I like to put it, the removal of one of the load-bearing pillars, and then the whole superstructure that Favreau had planned collapsed.
And don't think that Gina Carano thing wasn't planned to go down the way it was.
Oh, absolutely.
And we all knew it. You could tell, like, I don't know if the stream's still up or not, but you can tell, because I was there with Star Wars Theory and all those guys, Drunk 3PO and all that stuff, and we're told what was going on, and we got that news. It was like, it went from being like a celebration to a funeral. That.
Yeah.
And that's also, incidentally, the single biggest and longest Midnight's Edge stream we ever had. Was also the Gina Carano fired stream.